I believe what you need to have 7 home games. I would love to be like some of the teams that have 8 home games. Hats off to that. I think Missouri starts 6 games in a row at home, and then they have 2 games more. They have 8 home games and 4 road games this season. That's a huge advantage. So I think as you schedule, as we figure out who we're going to have, we need to make sure that we schedule appropriately if we're going to have a 9-game Big Ten conference schedule.
Coach, if I can follow up just with a scheduling question, is there any interest or imperative about scheduling out-of-conference games in the region, and particularly if we're going to schedule home and homes with potential teams?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we've got to do is we've got to figure out, is everyone going to play at the same playing field? I'm not interested in scheduling anybody that, is in the Power Four if we don't have to. After, our time is up, we have Washington State. We have Colorado State, who went to a bowl game last year. And we have UC Davis, who won 11 games last year. That's enough of a gauntlet when then you've got 9 other teams in our conference. So hopefully one day we get to a point that maybe we can have 9 conference games for all 4 Power 4 programs, and then we have one more game, hopefully against the SEC. If it's not against the SEC, then let's play somebody in the region, right? Let's go play someone in the Big 12 or someone that was a former Pac-12 team, or the Mountain West, whatever it might be, and then figure out the other 2 games. But we've got to be a consistent organization, and having different people play with different rules and different schedules doesn't feel like there's any consistency.
Coach, practices a week from today. Health-wise, team, everybody healthy, anybody being held out?
Yeah, I'm excited about our team for the first practice. We won't have Russell Davis and we won't have Raheem Wright. They both had season-ending surgeries. Outside of that, we have 103 guys that are ready to roll, and I believe that of those guys, there might be some limited, but Jacob Manu will be out practicing, and Zajius or Andy Sally will be out practicing, and we should have the majority of the team, unless it's a nick or a bruise that'll take them out of a day or so.
You're pretty adamant about keeping your scholarship limit at 85. Are you there?
We're a few over on scholarship. We've worked together with administration to make sure that we didn't put ourselves in this weird spot where we weren't able to keep a couple people on the team that wanted to be on the team. So we didn't do that. We kept 80, I think we have 87 players on scholarship, but the way the quarter system works, it's kind of a unique deal as players are coming and going at different times that still live in the world of 85. But anybody that wanted to be on our team are on our team.
How aware are you of the Big Ten scholarship counts? As a head coach, are you worried about what's Oregon got, what's Maryland got, what's not? Are you aware of, even though these numbers are almost secret?
Yeah, I worry about everything. Okay, I'll tell you that right now. And I look at all aspects of the programs and who are we competing with, because my big feeling is this: if we're on a level playing field, let's go. When the field starts getting tilted is when I get concerned, or when I feel like, now are we putting ourselves at a disadvantage? And I don't want to be at a disadvantage, and neither does our team. So we look to see what are other programs doing, and some programs might have different philosophies on keeping a few extra guys on scholarship. But as long as we continue to only play 11 versus 11, and as long as we're able to build enough depth in our recruiting classes, I think you get to a point where, I don't know how many guys are playing with their 89th guy on their roster, regardless of what people say.
And as regarding playoff expansion, Tony did very in favor of the automatic qualifiers and the play-ins. What would that system do for Washington?
Well, we'd have to qualify, but I would say it's the right thing to do. As long as, if we're going to play 9 games and other teams are going to play 8, why would we leave it up to a committee? That doesn't seem to make, any sense to me. What makes sense to me is we should all play the same schedule, whatever that looks like. But we can't play each other all the time. So we have our 9 games. They should have their 9. Other conferences should have their 9. Then we should figure out the other 3, and then we have playing games. And it sounds like Tony has a great plan for 3 to play 6 and 4 to play 5 and 1 to play 2, and give an opportunity that you've got 6 teams at the end of the season that can compete to be in the CFP. And what's the difference when like the New York Giants go ahead and beat the 18-0 Patriots, right? And they were a wild card team. Well, no one's putting an asterisk on the Giants saying, well, they had a playing game, right? No, they won the Super Bowl. And I think that what we need to do is, I've been on teams that were 7-9 and won the NFC West in 2010, and I've been on teams that are 13-3 and lost in the AFC Championship game. So, let's just play the game and let's the field decide, who should be in the playoffs, not a committee.
Jedd, this really worries about everything.
Yeah.
How much are you involved in the minutia of the cap and the rev share, and how much have you delegated to other personnel, maybe to keep a buffer between the on-field and the money?
Yeah, I'm involved in the money. I could, yeah, I run this, I type the numbers in the spreadsheet still. I feel as if it's too important right now to not have a real good hand on what's happening. Now, I don't get involved in calling, certain agents to go through certain parts of a contract. I don't read, I don't do that. What I try to do is I try to give a parameter to our personnel director on what I feel we're going to value this position or person at. And then we make the call and we make the offer. And then in the same token with our current roster, I do meet with our guys and I let them know where they fit. And I show them on the big board of what it looks like in pro football. And, hey, everybody knows what everybody makes. And, this is the way it looks. And no one's upset when, Patrick Mahomes makes $52 million. But $52 million is really, only, if you look at their cap, it's like 17% of the cap. You start getting some guys that'll be upset with 17% of the cap.
Are you saying that there's transparency within your team as to who's making what?
Yeah, we talk within our team, not about their number, but about our philosophy of how we do it.
Coach, you point out that Amari Evans in the transfer portal. Why did you prioritize him, and what do you hope he can bring to your offense?
We needed speed at the receiver position. I'm hopeful that he could bring to us what Jacob Cowling brought to us at Arizona, which is somebody that can play inside and take the top off the defense. I felt like that was the one thing that we were missing in our system. Now, Giles Jackson did that for us at the end of the year and had 4 touchdowns against Louisville in the bowl game, but had 8 touchdowns on the year. But I felt like we probably needed to continue to improve in that spot. Denzel reminds me of kind of where T-Mac was. So the combination of if we could, redo what we had with those 3 was the goal.
Non-conference schedule, just because of what you said, clear the preference not to play in powerful if you don't have to. I realize it's many years out, but you do have a home and home in Tennessee many years out, and that's even beyond the Apple Cup right now. And if we're going to add the Apple Cup back, that would fill out those years where you wouldn't have an FCS game. You'd have Pac-12, SEC, and depending on the year, Hawaii or whoever. But so what would the preference be to drop to Tennessee?
Well, my guess would be at that point in time, we'll probably have what I think is going to happen where there's going to be a Big Ten SEC game. And that Big Ten SEC game is dialed up and ready for us already. So that'd be my guess, that hopefully we would get to that spot where it would all work itself out nicely, that would be our one crossover conference game. And I hope we can do that annually if we get to that point where they're doing it and we're doing it. But I don't want it to be their 9th game and our 10th.
You were part of that multi-overtime game against SC a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I realize there's rules changes every year. This one sounds relatively minor, but as someone who played in a 3 overtime game, to change the timeouts, the 3 overtime plus down to 1 duration.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that? When you play in a game that competitive, the playoff implications, hell, it could be a playoff game.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Yeah. I think that everything is based upon trying to speed the games up a little bit, because we don't end in ties like an NFL, game is, and we don't. And the NFL has 1 quarter of football in regular season at 10 minutes, right? And if you score first, you win. So I think I'm not opposed to the whole timeout thing. I think hey, if you have 1 timeout for overtime and you use it in the first one or second, whatever, that's your problem. Just play the game and get it done with, and figure out a way to win would be my rule.
Jedd, what appealed to you about Ryan during the interview process, bringing him on?
Well, a couple things. The first one was I think he's got great swag about him. I think he's got confidence that players will embrace. I feel like what he did at Illinois with taking a defense that went from 97th to first in scoring and 107th to second in total defense in the Big Ten is really hard to do. And the fact that he executed that was really important to me. Third one was that his parents live in Seattle. And I thought it was really cool to have someone that wanted to be grounded in Seattle there for a while. And I thought that would be a huge part for our program to have some stability. And then the last one was, as I looked around the country and you look at guys are bringing in former head coaches onto their staff. And, Marcus Freeman had Al Golden and James had Tom Allen. And you look around and what guys did, Ryan had Chip. And I thought it would be really important to get someone that sat in the chair in the Big Ten Conference.
What do you think you learned the last 2 years being a head coach?
Well, you learn so much, right? Every day there's a new to-do list. Every day there's something that you weren't accustomed to that now you have to get ready for, how you communicate with your offense, your defense, your special teams. I think he learned what it's like on how important it is to be a great assistant coach. The one thing that I remember, even that short time when I was an interim head coach at UCLA, and then I went as an assistant to Sean at the Rams, I remembered how important it was to have people always, on your side and rowing in the right direction and being a great staff member. I think that Ryan has feels that and has done an amazing job of leading the defensive staff in a way of like, we are all doing this thing together, and I'm going to be the leader of being a great assistant coach.
Jedd, I know that you guys take everything week by week when you get into the season, but it seems like that late September game against Ohio State could serve as like a really pivotal moment for you and your program. Have you thought about that at all and what that game could mean no matter what?
Yeah, a year ago, if you asked me that, I would have said us beating Michigan would have given us, be the pivotal moment, and then we went ahead and lost the next week. I think we have to not let one game success define the season. It's always fun when you get on a run, right? And when that run starts or stops, I don't know. But we've got to find a way that we can, stack wins. That's what we didn't do. Now, obviously, you go beat Ohio State. That's pretty cool, right? But we got to beat Colorado State, UC Davis, and Washington State first. And we got to remember that we got stopped on 4th and 1 on the 1 in the Apple Cup. And we got to deal with that prior to us dealing with the fact that the national champions coming in our state.
How hard is it to are now going to play the national champion in back-to-back seasons and have that opportunity? Maybe is it difficult to understand that like this is the life of the Big Ten, or is it a matter
Yeah, it's the life of the Big Ten. It's so cool. It's what you want. It's what you dream of, right? That's what you want to do. You want to play the best. And you want to do it every week, and you want everybody to do it every week, and you want it to be like, hey, we get to play Ohio State, we get to play Oregon, who won the Big Ten, we get to play Illinois, who's a top 10 preseason team, we get to go compete in the Apple Cup on the road, so we're always going to accept that and love that challenge.
This you guys average about eight plays per scoring drive. You guys averaged about 8 plays per scoring drive last season, somewhere around there. I'm curious, explosiveness is something you guys are prioritizing this year. Chris, what goes into play calling in terms of optimizing drives, and how are you guys working?
Yeah, we like to be an explosive offense. For the last 2 years we were in Tucson, we were, I think, one of the most explosive offenses in all of college football. We're always going to try to be that. I love us to score fast if we can. And we spend a lot of time focusing on how to attack a defense and how to, make big plays, both in the pass game and the run game. Mr. Coleman, do you have a question? Oh, yeah, you know what it feels cool is that my daughters think I'm cool all of a sudden, They get text messages saying that, hey, your dad texted me, but he really didn't, right? I have no idea what they're talking about. I go, oh, that's cool. They get to talk about with their friends that their dad's in the game. I've never played it.
Have you seen your physical?
I don't know how to, yeah, I'll play with you guys. I don't know how to do it. Will you guys let me play with you guys? Okay.
Have you seen your physical appearance in the game? Okay.
I have. Yeah, Jonas sent it to me.
So does that mean it was bad or?
No, I thought it was okay. I think it's okay. It's not the best I've ever seen, but not bad.
Going back to the Ohio State game, you get to see some cool environments now with the new teams in the Big Ten. Ohio State got to play at Oregon, now they get to play at Washington. Just how much do you like, the opportunity to have programs like that, historical Big Ten teams to come into environments like that and get to experience environments we don't usually see them in?
Yeah, I think it's what it's all about right now is being able to be in that national stage of traveling across the country and going to stadiums that our guys never would have dreamt of going to if they committed 4 years ago. I don't think they ever would have thought they would be able to go play at Iowa and step on the field and wave to a children's hospital, which is one of the most emotional moments that any player or coach can go through. I don't think that our guys would have known that we were going to have college game day against Indiana, right, a couple of years ago. So I think it's great. It's cool listening to other head coaches when they come to Montlake and they come to UW and they're like, wow, we've heard about this place, but we never knew how special it was. And when you drive over the bridge and over the water and you see the boats going to the game and you see the stadium right in front of you, I think the guys, the coaches and the players of other teams realize how cool it is to be at UW. And for us, I think our players recognize, wow, this is the big house. That's what everybody's talked about. I remember when I was in 2015 when I got hired, my wife and I walked down the tunnel for the first time in the big house, and it is something special. So that's what college football is all about, the iconic stadiums and the iconic moments.
Does it enhance a little bit of the home field advantage for those teams that never come out to the Pacific Northwest? Ohio State last year playing in Oregon, it felt like Oregon had that first half big advantage. How rare that is for those teams.
Yeah, I think come familiarity, comes success, and when you're unfamiliar with a territory, you're unfamiliar with it, and it's a little bit challenging. I think our team really had no idea what to expect when we flew to Rutgers. I don't think any of our players understood what it was going to be like. What was they have a big club atmosphere. They have a really fun music atmosphere going on. It was a blackout. It was nighttime. I don't think our guys knew what was coming. And I think it makes it challenging. I would say, hopefully, the same thing when they come to us, that it makes it just as challenging.
The spring ball starting, fall camp starting again. Who are some guys maybe from spring ball to today who really stepped up that we should keep an eye on?
I think that Rashawn Clark is continuing to step up. He's had a really good summer. He's gotten stronger. C.J. Christian, Alex McLaughlin, both had really good summers. They've got McAllistein has a good summer. Those guys, our secondary, our safeties, got bigger and stronger. The O-line and D-line is just continuing to get big, but also thin out at the right places. We don't need the 350-pound guys, right? But the 335s look great. I would say Quentin Moore, bringing him back, he should be almost 75% for training camp. I don't think if a game was Saturday he'd play, but I think if a game was in 2 Saturdays he would.
You've definitely gotten bigger. You smiled when you said big.
Yeah, it's a Big Ten. We needed to. We needed to. We needed to get bigger. I heard Dan up there, Coach Lanning up there, talking about the weight gain of his program, and it's a real thing. It's a real thing, and we try to do the same.
We've been talking about Damon as being the future face of the program for a while now. I'm wondering was it a calculated decision at all to message it that way before he started the game? That I want to send a message publicly of how much you and how much the program believes in it, that type of thing.
I don't know if I would use that calculated word. I think that would mean that there was some ulterior motive to that. No, it's just I have full belief in Demond, and I feel like if you want to set your program up for future success, you need to have some people to stand behind it. And where we were a year ago with only one, there was really no one to hold on to. The one returning starter was a senior. So what we needed to do is kind of reimagine what we did at Arizona when we had T-Mac come in and made him the face and, projected that he would be a top 10 pick, which fortunately for him he was, but it also came out right. We did it the right way, and we talked about the importance of him joining our program. I feel like Damon's in that same boat.
What is it about Damon that stands out to you and allows you guys to play the way that you want to play?
Well, he's got a lot of great characteristics of a quarterback, which is someone that studies the game. It's somebody that has a great feel and plays with instincts. If you could do that, if you have feel and instincts, but you also study, it's your best of both worlds. He also can run and throw, right? So it's not just run or not just throw. And in this conference with the pass rushers we have and the pass rushers you got to deal with and the amount of intricate defenses you see, he could get you out of a bad play call. Which you need, right? Not every play call is going to be great. There's going to be times that there's an unblocked man. He can help you get out of that. And then the final part of it is when he has time, he can throw a nice deep ball, and he is not afraid to throw the ball. And the idea of playing with no fear is huge.
His ability, it just seems like sometimes it's a hit and miss and just try to figure things out as things go along. What are you figuring out with NIL, some of the deals you've submitted and anything that you find at all?
At this point in time, I'm not aware of anything being declined. I think it's still a work in progress. I think we're still learning what deals to submit. Right now we're, revenue share you don't submit, so it's just deals outside of revenue share. And so far we've found that everything has been market value.
What is about his, self-assurance? You put him in last year, he's immediately making some pretty big plays. Where does that come from with him?
I think he has great self-confidence. He believes that he's as good as anyone that will play. He feels that he was ready. He didn't feel like he needed to wait, but he was appreciative of the waiting. I think he felt like he didn't need to take every rep, but he was appreciative of the opportunity to go in there at least a few plays a game and just get his feet wet. And then when the opportunity came, he learned. That first or second game, he scrambled against Eastern Michigan and got blown up and fumbled the ball. And he learned not to fumble the ball again. Or, in the third play against Louisville, we ran a shallow cross and they fell off it and we threw a pick six. And he didn't turn the ball over again. So I think what makes Damon special is he can learn from his mistakes, but he's self-confident enough to go out there and give it a whirl.
This spring, Coach Graham talked about this from a play calling perspective, the versatility that you have with your running backs, gives you different options as a play caller. Curious what goes into that as a play caller, how valuable is it to have versatile guys like that?
Yeah, play calling, comes down to finding weapons, right? How many weapons can you find? Can you find weapons only at the receiver position? Can you find weapons at the tight end position? Can you find additional weapons at the running back position? I would say for us, for the running backs, if they give you opportunity to catch the ball, that's one more matchup problem for the defense. If you can, tight ends go vertical, that's one more matchup problem for the defense. So if we can continue to find matchup problems, I think that'll enable us to utilize the weapons.
Apologies if this has been asked before, but what do we expect from college coach?
I expect success. I don't know why it wouldn't be, right? Every time I've seen Bill operate, he operates at the highest level. He's a brilliant football coach. He has a great staff, and he's going to run the program the way he knows how to run a program, which is going to be at an elite level.
You got a chance to go through a spring camp with Coach Walters and all the offseason. How's the defense going to look different with Ryan Walters compared to what it's been like last year?
I think we'll continue to be able to defend the pass well, like we did a year ago. I think we'll try to push the envelope more in attacking fronts and protections and try to get to the passer a little bit more. We're going to outnumber the box most of the time, so it's going to be a challenge to run the football, we hope. We got to make tackles. But Coach Walters is committed to making sure that we have one, plus one guy to block. So when you start adding all those layers and levels to this whole thing, he certainly makes it challenging to go up against every day.
Coach, you had the transfer from Arizona to cornerback. How is he going to change your team?
Well, having Takario come in is a nice addition because now we're looking at two 6'3", 6'4" corners that have both had 25 to 30 games of starting experience. Both guys that are able to play at the highest level of football. I think both guys are NFL prospects. So when you start looking at those, different qualities and traits, and he's another person that understands our culture and understands what it looked like from a struggle to success. And then now he saw what it looked like when they struggled a little bit when he stayed. I think he can bring that extra little bit of energy and pop of like, hey, this is what we need to do. Trust it, believe it. So it's pretty cool.
What about your offensive line this year, Coach? How would you assess it preseason?
Yeah, I feel good about the guys we brought in. I feel good about the guys that have developed. I think that we brought in a really good left tackle from Kansas State. I think Drew Azzopardi has really developed as a right tackle. Landon Hatchett is playing a natural position at center, which he wasn't playing a year ago. And then we have really good guard competition. Garen Hatchett transferred back from Oklahoma, but was a starter for us at Washington. And then we have a great competition battle going between our two freshmen, John Mills and Champ, along with Paki Finau. So I think we're in a really good spot.
Coach, when somebody transfers back, what's that dynamic?
Oh, I love it. I love it. That means they want to be here and they realize they made a mistake.
I have a non-football question.
Okay.
My niece is a cheerleader at UW.
Okay.
You said you've been open to changing anything for like road games after last season. How about more cheerleaders on the road games?
Oh,
Are you in favor?
that is, I would say, above my pay grade.
We can get your support, coach, and take it to the department.
I support anything that has to do with pageantry and college football.
Last year it was Adam and Jonah who got all the carries.
Uh-huh.
We saw something in Jordan Washington
Yeah.
that changes things. Can you talk a little bit about what that's like to have that kind of speed to play with?
Yeah, Jordan's going to play. Jordan's going to play for us. Jordan is not going to just play one snap. Jordan is 10-2, 100-yard dash, 100-meter dash. I mean, he is elite when it comes to his speed. And he's also, Jordan came into college at 156 and he weighs 187 pounds now. And he's only a sophomore, redshirt freshman. So Jordan Washington is going to impact our program in a lot of ways, and I'm excited to see it.
Is he a running back or more than that?
No, he's a running back.
Will we see him at wide
No.
receiver, slot?
Running back.
I just want to say thank you for answering that question.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Maybe this goes without saying, but it seems like the sport's obviously moving more towards professional sports. What's your opinion on that? Is that helpful for the sport, you think, or is that just the reality of kind of where it's all headed?
I just think it's where it's headed. We need to have rules and regulations, and it's not an amateur sport if you're paying players, right? That's just like the definition of amateurism. So we're working through what does that mean, right? And what does that mean in terms of how are you going to educate, the fan base that just because a player gets paid doesn't mean that you shouldn't still root for the team just the same way, or you need to educate the fan base that there's not going to be a disappointment if a player, that's 17 or 18 years old or 19 years old doesn't perform the way they thought they should because they've received a paycheck. But we're getting to a point now where we are clearly at a place where there's going to be more and more decisions that are made that are going to feel professional. And whether we're going to have to ever collectively bargain, whether we're going to have to figure out what other ways that we can regulate the cap or whatnot, I think we need to get to a spot where everybody's comfortable and everybody feels good with saying the word professional and not getting all upset, or keeping it amateur and realizing that we're paying.
Does it give a slight edge to coaches who have kind of been in that setting before in the professional game?
I think, the edge to coaches goes to, do your players trust you? Want it to just to be a 1-year jump, right? So what do I think? I think every year is different. I think every season is different. I don't know if we would have won 5 or 10 games, right, depending where what year, if we were in the Big Ten in year 2, right? We didn't play at Michigan. We didn't play at Wisconsin. We didn't host Ohio State. We didn't host Oregon, right, in those years. So you've got to look to see of what's really what type of team you have and who you got and how good can you be. But I do know in the third year when we won 7 games in a row and nobody wanted to play us at the end of the year, and we beat Oklahoma by 2 touchdowns, and that team was ready to go. So I would love for us to be in that spot in year 2. I just know that everybody wants to be there too. And we're not the only team that wants to win every game, and we're not the only team that wants to be in a championship. Every team wants to be in a championship. So we got a lot of work to do, but I love our players.
I know you can't name names, but can you just talk a little bit about how this recruiting cycle is different and how things are going, how many responses do you have left?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good about where we are recruiting right now. I think that we've had a lot of players fill what we want. We went after the guys that we think fit our program the best. We went after guys that we think can make huge differences in the success of our program. And as you enter the world of college recruiting, it's different than it was in years past, especially if what happened June 30th with people trying to front load deals and offer money up front to sign with your team before, or commit to your team before signing day, and put out there that my recruitment is closed and some of the things that went down. So, but with all of those obstacles and all of those issues, I think we're in a great spot.
Any wild stories that you could tell us without naming names?
No, I think that, it's what you guys hear is most of the time true. And I would tell you that recruiting is a unique and interesting time right now, but I love our class, and I think we got the right people. We got the right class. I think we're sitting in a really nice place in terms of where we compare within the country. And I think that, maybe you get 1 or 2 more one way or the other. And then that's your class. And then you let it rip and you let it roll and you bring those guys in, and now you've got 28 guys last year, and probably another 20 to 24 this year. And now you got 52 guys that you recruited. I would hope that we're less and less busy in the portal every year.
Would you be in favor of a rolling signing day where it's June and a kid commits and he's all in on you and you can sign his agreement that day and his NIL contract that day and all that?
Yeah, I'm in favor of sign your NIL agreement, and therefore it's signing day at the same time. Not in favor of send an NIL agreement, but they can't sign it because it's not signing day, and then they can go negotiate with other people with an agreement,
Which is what it is now.
which is where we are right now. So I believe what would be best is if a kid wants to commit to you and a kid wants to play for you, then let them sign. And in the same regard that, when I applied to college, there was rolling admissions, and when you got in, they told you, and they didn't wait for everybody to send a letter at the same day. I'm a big fan of the same thing. If you want to come to school here and you tell me you want to come to school here, sign here, and it's one less guy I need to recruit and one more guy that's on our team. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for making the trip, guys.